am so excited to share that I am celebrating yet another milestone inside of my business. However, just like the title suggests, I'm here to tell you, being someone that's been online for many, many years, the struggle bus for me was very, very real. However, I simply decided that if I wanted to get off the struggle bus, that I was going to have to do things differently. And so I started becoming way more dependent upon systems. And since the first of this year, so we're talking about 4 months now, every single month, my income has increased. I've been hitting new milestones every single month because instead of hoping, wishing, and praying and focusing on the outcome, I became way more dependent upon focusing on the system. And so what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to break down and share my real numbers. I'm going to talk about the systems that have helped me make a lot of money selling digital products online. And I'm going to share this in such a way so that you can have confidence in replicating it, so that if you're on the struggle bus, you can decide to get off the struggle bus and experience a completely different way of business for yourself. One of the biggest things that I've gotten out of all of this, number one, it feels a heck of a lot better not to have to worry about like where the next sale is going to come from or if I'm going to make any sales, but like knowing that it's just all in the process and the sales actually happen, the sales actually pop. But also I work a heck of a lot less, and I'm going to share exactly how that's changing my business. And when you become more dependent upon the systems versus thinking that you have to show up and do all of this arbitrary work, right, that maybe you didn't research, you don't know if it's going to pay off, and you're just kind of doing it because you think that by showing up or going live or being present, that's enough to actually generate sales. And at one point in my business, like that's what I did. I had a go live, get paid strategy. And again, I'll talk about that more when I start talking about generating leads and how it's completely different now. But going live, getting paid made me really good money. But the unpredictability of it was driving me insane. The way that I do business now, way different. The results are way different. And I really just want to inspire more and more people not to get excited over the idea of selling one of these digital marketing courses with master resale rights or going out there and licensing a bunch of done for you digital products or creating ebooks and creating digital products, but not really knowing once you create them or once you license them, how are you going to go out there and make your first $10,000, right? How are you going to go out there and decide to make $100,000 or more this year? By following systems and learning and knowing what I'm going to break down for you in this video, it's going to help you in a major way. And that is my primary objective. So grab a notebook and grab a pen. We're going to jump into my numbers to kick things off. The first thing I'm going to do is share my statistics starting way back from January and catching you up to date. And then I'm going to break down the individual key elements of my business, and I'm going to share exact numbers so that you can actually see the numbers that represent my momentum and the numbers that represent my growth. I think one of the greatest things when it comes to learning how to make money online is the old saying that more is caught than taught. And I know one of the really big things for myself is I started paying attention to how people were doing certain things in their business. And oftentimes they weren't sharing like their numbers like I'm getting ready to share. However, I found ways to actually kind of see what they were doing, how they were doing it, and kind of like monitoring the behavior and the activities inside of their business. And that's what I began to model for myself. So by watching other people and adapting the way they were doing business, right, I fell upon a strategy and a game plan that began to work for me. And then that's how I began to create my system by doing more of what was working, kind of throwing aside the things that were not working. And that's how I created my systems that have allowed me to build momentum, which you're going to see in my numbers, and it has allowed me to create repeatable outcomes. And that's exactly what you want. That's how we keep hitting new milestones every single month. There's like no need in celebrating a really, really big month if you know in your hearts of hearts that you can't repeat that the next month. And so like one of the things that I'm going to start sharing a lot more is like how to have and establish like baselines in your business. And that's something I've done for myself. So it's like once I hit a certain milestone, in my mind, like I'm unavailable to go below that milestone, right? But every single month, I'm clearly looking, right, to raise my business to new milestones. And right now we're at the end of April, and I can tell you every single month in almost every area of my business has hit new milestones going up. All right. Understand something about the struggle bus. Like I can't move forward without saying this. The struggle bus, a lot of times you'll hear people say things like the struggle bus is real or the struggle is real. It literally is only as real as you make it. As you heard me say earlier, I've been online for a long, long time and I've made some really, really great money. But oftentimes I was hustling and I was grinding and I was struggling to pull off significant months. I didn't have ease and flow. I didn't have systems. I didn't have predictability. I didn't have repeatable flows. I didn't have momentum. And to me, when I think back, that was struggling, right? Like who wants to have a business where you've got to do that every single month? But I made the conscious decision not to ride the struggle bus anymore. And so when people decide like not to invest in themselves or not to learn or not to get better or, they don't want to trust the process or they want to have shiny object syndrome, believe it or not, those are all choices, but those are all choices that end up leading to struggle. You can decide not to entertain that way of business. You can decide, right, to be way more proactive and invest in yourself. Learn and develop these skills. Decide to see things through, right? You're going to hear me talk about a lot of that in today's video. So again, grab a notebook, grab a pen. Let's start off with my stats. So from January to February, my business grew 86.1%. From February to March, my business grew 35.77%. From March to where I am in April right now, which is almost the last day of April, it's the 29th, my business has grown 52.6%. And then from last year to this year, my business is up 370%. Now, what's really important to note is that my January revenue was actually under 5 figures. It was under 10,000. So just as you kind of have that as a barometer of where I actually started the year. And I wasn't excited about my January outcome at all because I felt, based upon everything that I knew, that I should have definitely hit over, 10,000 that month. However, when I go back, like I realized that I was still trying to figure out things. I was like really still trying to figure out like how I wanted to approach my business, how I wanted to go about my business, how I wanted to create content. Like I was just still trying to figure out things. And that's why I love to like take my time. I love to do the longer videos. I love to have the conversations around how we actually do this, because if you can understand more about my thought process and how I'm not one of these people that are like, I just popped up and all of a sudden I started making all this money. No, a great deal of work, a great deal of strategy, a great deal of blood, sweat, and tears, a great deal of sitting down, trying to figure things out, right? A great deal of trying to figure out my unique flow, my unique messaging, like how did I want to navigate, right? Like this world of digital products. A lot of that went into getting me to where I am. And so I'm really hoping that by sharing in a different way than a lot of people, that this can help you in a real way figure things out for yourself and give you the confidence to either invest in the things that you need to invest in and or begin confidently taking action and like standing behind your decisions to actually see this through, because none of this stuff happens by luck or by chance. None of this stuff just, happens because you want it to happen. You've got to definitely put the work in. All right. So those were my stats. Now let's actually move into the actual numbers of the key elements inside of my business that have created momentum and created repeatable outcomes month after month after month inside of my business thus far. Now, remember I talked about how now in my business, I work less than I did even in January. And that's because in January, I was still trying to figure things out. And so I think by sharing this is going to get you really, really excited. And you're going to see why you do want to invest in yourself, why you want to gain the knowledge, why you want to gain the skills, because when you do, literally you can work a lot less because you're allowing systems to work for you versus just throwing stuff against the wall. So in April, okay, so YouTube is my platform. That's the platform that I show up on every single week. It's where I create content. It's how I generate leads. It's how I make sales. Like, that's my platform. Every single person that wants to sell digital products, you have to choose a platform. It could be YouTube. It could be Pinterest. It could be Facebook. It could be Instagram. It could be TikTok. It could be LinkedIn. It could be blogging. It could be search engine optimization. You could decide to run ads. Like, you can choose whatever platform you want, but everyone has to have a home base of where you're going to create content, because it's the content that's going to actually drive in a new audience, drive in new prospective customers. Like, that is how you're going to grow your overall business. So YouTube is that platform for me. So in April, I only created one short on YouTube. However, for the year thus far, I created a total of 27. So this is an example where when I go back, I was doing a lot more shorts in January and in February, because I really thought that by getting more views through shorts, I would grow my audience, grow my subscriber base, and that would help me actually make more money. And what I came to realize is that's not really where my lead flow was coming from, nor my revenue. And so while I still think YouTube shorts, they definitely have their place, what I realized was there was no sense in me like racking my brain or trying to get ultra creative in creating shorts when I knew that's not where my results were actually coming from. So as you can see, right, biggest month of the year so far, and this month I only did one short, and that was just a couple of days ago, just to kind of fill in some gaps in my content. In the second area, now this is weird, like this is my money right here, uploaded content, all right? So for the month of April, I've uploaded 3 videos. So generally I upload a video a week, all right? For the year, I've uploaded 22. So when you do the math, you know that does not break down to a video a week, right? It actually breaks down to more videos. Well, again, remember, first of the year, I was still trying to figure things out. So I did a lot more videos in January. I started to find my rhythm in February, and that's when I really began to fall into a flow of creating one uploaded piece of content every single week. And so that's where I really live right now. And honestly, this week, I'm going to decide to up that. I'm going to decide to do 2 videos and see how that actually works for me. So much of this is deciding to test. Right? And so clearly going into May, I want to, increase my business again. I want to hit another milestone in May. And something inside of me is just saying, let's go ahead and do a video on Monday and let's try another video on Wednesday. And so we're going to see how that actually works. And worst case, it doesn't work for me, and I just go back to doing what was already working for me, and I find other areas in my business that I can actually double down on and decide to scale. Like, I hope you're really understanding like how important gaining this knowledge, developing these skills, and understanding that our business is a process, all right? It's not just doing one thing and then, expecting all the results to flow from there, or maybe even getting it right the first time. A lot of this is trial and error, and it's not one size fits all. That's why I often say so much is caught versus taught, because it's kind of like if you can catch on to someone's strategy and you get to understand like why it's working for them, then you can formulate a game plan and, figure out your own system and devise something that begins to work for you. All right. So again, I'm so excited moving forward because I know that I have winning elements. Like, I know that I have the momentum, the predictability, the sustainability, that I'm building my business based upon the right foundation. And so a lot of this testing is honestly kind of fun. I won't even lie to you, right? There definitely are some weeks where I don't completely understand like why my content is doing what my content is doing. But write this down. This was the biggest thing that I had to learn, and I learned this from my mentor, is to be way more dependent upon systems versus dependent upon the outcome, because your outcomes are only going to be as good as your systems. So our focus every single week or every single day is how do we make our systems like 1% better? How do we consistently get better with our systems? Because our systems is what actually pushes the actual outcome. like this is so major when you think about systems and outcomes. Over the 16 years that I've been online, not only have I mentored and coached people through this, but I've experienced it myself where it's like we're looking at a little bit of, productivity or a little bit of work that we've done. And we're trying to focus so hard on like why more sales aren't coming from it or why more results aren't coming from it, instead of saying, how can I just make my system better? How can I expand my system? Right. And that's exactly what I've learned how to do. Instead of worrying about like, how come I'm not generating more leads or more views from YouTube? In this instance, I was like, how can I make my YouTube system better? Right. If I'm not generating enough leads, like how can I make my content better to help me generate more leads? And instead of worrying about like, how come I'm not making all the sales that I see other people making? Again, I became more dependent upon everything else that's systematic that drives the actual sale. So that's really, really important. The next area inside of my business was live streaming. Now, this is going to actually blow your mind. So in April, I've done a total of 6 live streams. Remember what I said earlier, starting the first of this year, I was still kind of figuring out my flow, figuring out my rhythm, and I was going from a place of like pivoting or transitioning from being live stream heavy to being more uploaded content heavy, and I hadn't quite figured that out yet. So for the year thus far, I've done a total of 46 live streams. When I look back to January and February, it's like I was pretty much going live almost every day or every other day. I was going live a lot. All right. Around March timeframe is when I fell into this rhythm where I realized my uploaded content was starting to do exceptionally well. It was growing my channel. It was growing my opt-in. Like my income was really exploding. And I realized my business was becoming a lot more predictable. Right. And so that's when I decided to cut back on my live streams to be way more reliant upon good, solid, well thought out uploaded content. And then that's when I started kind of falling into a routine of going live on Thursdays. I call them Thursday night conversations, and then going live on Saturday, which I call either Super Saturday or Saturday School. And that allows me to connect live with people that might not be able to connect with me during the week. When I go live or through my content, and allows me to build deeper know, like, and trust. And both of those live streams honestly make me a great deal of sales as well, because I'm showing up live and I'm building connections and I'm connecting and building know, like, and trust. Right? So that's my content. All right. Like that, you understand why I can tell you again from experience, like this stuff, you don't just luck up on it. You don't just do 1 video or 10 videos and make all the money you desire. As you can see, like I had to figure out a lot of things. And it's so exciting to know. It's like the more I cut back on my actual like physical work, I actually have made more money, because the work that I am doing is more of the way more intentional, well thought out work that produces the result, versus just showing up, going live, throwing crap out there, right? And just trying to make sales. I got way more methodical. Now this area is really, really important as well. Okay. Lead generation. Oftentimes in digital product sales, you hear more people being way more heavy on their social media content, right? Doing reels, going live, all the showing up, right? And you don't hardly hear anyone talking about building an email list. And whenever I do hear someone talking about building an email list, they just talk about it because they know it's what we should be doing. But in most instances, people are not doing it. I am on so many people's lists that I've opted in to receive information, and yet I never receive emails from them. All right. Building my email list, I'm telling you, has been a great source of more sales inside of my business. So for the month of April thus far, I've generated 287 new opt-ins, new leads, which this month, I don't know, for whatever reason, it's actually a low. Generally, I generate over 300 leads a month for the past few months. For the year, I've generated over 1,000. So 1,008 opt-ins. These are people that have gone to my website, right? Requested more information about the digital product that I sell every single day. That's my email list. Those are the people that I get to email and connect with and build deeper know, like, and trust with, and drip on them and love on them and invite them to live streams and make promo offers to. And so while a lot of people do buy directly from my content. There are another percentage of people that buy because of the time they're able to spend on my email list, right? Me building up know, like, and trust and being there for them, right, when the timing is right. Do you see how, like, I have a whole business. I'm not just reliant upon doing some stuff and hoping some sales will happen. I am very much so system reliant. Now, here's the kicker. When my business was flip-flopped and I was going live, I wasn't really focused on building my email list. I was more so focused on going live and getting paid. I talked about it all the time, right? I used to make a boatload of money going live, getting paid, but I didn't have a growing email list. Like, my email list literally was sitting at, I forget what the number was with my old provider, but it was a very low number and it was just sitting there. Where now every single month, my email list has been growing by just over 300 to about 350 every single month. What's exciting about this, let's talk about this so you really understand why these things are so important. And I'm telling you, breaking things down like this is my joy, because as I work with more of my new customers, they're like, Steph, I never understood this stuff. Like, I hear people talking about content and lead generation and email marketing, but I never understood like how it all works together. I hope you're realizing, again, how these things work together. But here's how we create momentum. Here's how we create milestones every single month, is that initially, like in January, I had a go live, get paid mentality. I was just beginning to really focus on building my email list, and I was really trying to find my rhythm and flow, right? So I made some good money in January, but then in February, guess what? My lead base grew more. My audience grew more. I had more content out there. And so it's like every single week, as I create more content and that content builds my email list, I have people that are entering my world for the first time, discovering me for the first time, opting in for the first time. Some are buying pretty immediately. My email continues to grow. And so as new people enter my world and take action, right? Guess what? People that have been sitting on my email list decide, okay, now the timing's right for me, right? My tax money came in, or my paycheck is here, or I've saved up the money, or I believe that I can do this now, or I should, for a variety of reasons, right? That's how we create momentum, is that, again, because we're system dependent, the sales get to come from a variety of different areas that we've intentionally built for ourselves. So you see how when I say I decided to get off the struggle bus, if I'm not building an email list to the degree that I'm building it now, you see how I instantly take that income stream out of my business, because now I don't have that pool of people that I'm building and cultivating relationships with. So I'm only being able to be dependent upon creating content and producing sales at that level, right? And I'm missing a whole nother element in my business where relationships can be cultivated and where more sales can actually come from, right? You guys, this is why I tell people making money is a skill, right? If you don't have these digital marketing skills, if you don't know the business of online business, if you don't understand like how sales are transacted, if you don't understand the fact that most people need about 7 different exposures in 4 different ways, right? Said in several different fashions, like you don't understand like how important all of these individual things are to our business. It's so much bigger than doing faceless reels or doing TikToks or doing stories. You've got to remember, you sell a product, right? I sell a real digital product that solves a problem that a lot of people have. They don't know how to make money online. My digital product teaches them how to make money online, which means I am dealing with real people, which means I've got to build a business that's connecting with real people every single day with every single thing that I do. Right? So I build a system around all of those elements that are going to allow me to connect with brand new people every single day and build deeper know, like, and trust with those, right, that are hanging out, waiting for the time to be right for one reason or another. Deciding to hit milestones and deciding to have a very well-oiled machine, it takes intention. right? You've got to be deliberate about this. You've got to be on purpose about this. You got to decide to develop the skills, because if you are on the struggle bus right now, like I was on the struggle bus, right? I had to refine my digital marketing skills. I had to decide to get serious about creating these kind of systems and these kind of flows. If you're on the struggle bus because you haven't made your mind up that you're going to learn these skills, you got to decide to learn these skills, because that deficit of skills is always going to be the reason why you don't make the money that you desire, no matter how trending the digital products or whatever it is that you want to sell. It's not about it being hot. It's not about everyone selling digital products, right? The people that are making money have decided to learn the skills, activate the skills, put together smart systems and smart flows that work for them. And that's how they are making the money, right? When you develop these skills, you can make money in so many different ways. And believe it or not, I know I'm talking about like the system I use to make money selling digital products, but I make money in so many other areas of my business because of these skills. All right, I'm going to share a little bit about that in just a moment with you as well. Okay, so I can't leave this part out because I just really want to make a case for how amazing YouTube has been. I have goosebumps right now thinking about it, how amazing YouTube has been with helping me to grow my overall income as well as my overall business. One of my goals in my business is to become a household name. I want to inspire and empower thousands and thousands and thousands of people that maybe did not believe that making money online could be a reality. I want to inspire and empower more people, to know that they can replace their income or build significant discretionary income, or make money to send their kids to college, or make money to supplement a retirement. Like, I want people to know that we have simplified learning these skills, and I want them to hear it from me. I want them to know that they can learn these skills and learn this process and get set up for online business success in such a simplified way, and that it's no longer reserved for the gurus. And YouTube gives me that platform to be able to reach and connect with brand new people every single week. As an example, last week, my video to date has done about 1,900 views, which is not viral by any stretch. But for me, it's amazing to know that I've refined my skills and I'm starting to reach more people. But out of those 1,900 views, 1,100 of those views were unique views, meaning people that had never discovered my channel or my content before. Think about what that can grow to week after week as I commit to working this system, right? Like that goal of becoming a household name and becoming known by more people, right? That's going to be a byproduct of working a system, which is going to help me generate more leads and continue to grow my income as I'm serving people in this way through the digital product that I offer. But by committing to YouTube, okay, YouTube has a program where they will actually pay you, right, for AdSense, right? So my channel this month will earn an additional $500 because of the content that I created. This year thus far, YouTube has paid me close to $2,000, which again is really nothing. But here's the plot twist in it, okay? Because I commit to working a system on YouTube, all right, to connect with people, YouTube's paid me just shy of $2,000 this year alone. So while there are people out there paying for ads to get their products in front of people, which is not a bad thing, I'm just not an ad girl, right? YouTube is paying me, right, money on average. Like, I don't think I'll go under $500. Every single month it's increased. I think January it was like $269, February was 3 something, March it was 4 something, April 5, like it keeps growing every single month, right? I earn more and more money. So YouTube is literally paying me to create content, okay? So they paid me almost $2,000 this year to create content in the fashion that I've been showing with you. And that content has gone on to generate me, right, just over $50,000 in less than 4 months. I want you to think about what I just broke down to you. That does not happen when you don't think about your business or when you don't have these skills. That is why these skills are so important. I'm just going to flip down my notes right now. All right. So let's break it down. All right. I create content inside of my business. That's a skill. All right. I use YouTube. That's a skill, right? I generate leads, right? And I have a money getting system. Those are skills that I had to learn how to develop. All right. I'm building an email list and I implement email marketing, right? Those are skills that I use inside of my business. And I also use conversion and sales strategies to help me make more sales inside of my business. All of those are skills. So do you see how when I say things like making money is a skill, if I don't have these skills, if I don't know how to create content, if I don't know how to use YouTube, for you, it could decide to be any platform you decide, but you have to learn how to use it. You have to learn how to create content for that platform. You have to learn how to build your email list. You have to learn how to do email marketing. You've got to learn how to build money getting systems, right? Money getting funnels. You've got to learn conversions and sales strategies. When you learn all of those skills, it's like your money making potential, it has to increase. Right? And so please just never, ever, ever forget, right, that making money is a skill. And if you want to reap the things that I'm talking about in this video, which is not to toot my own horn, it's not to brag, right? It is literally to impress upon you that anyone can decide to learn these skills and set themselves up for an entirely different outcome. I didn't come into 2024 like even knowing this was going to happen for me. I just knew that I had to get off the struggle bus. I knew I owed it to my husband, right, to do something better inside of my business, to live to my full potential, right? And I decided to refine my skills and get really, really serious about this business. And because I made those decisions, this is the byproduct, right, of deciding to refine my skills. In your instance, it might be learning the skills, right? And then applying the skills that I refine into a system that works for me every single day. There's not a day goes by that brand new people don't discover me. Not a day goes by where I don't build my email list of new people that are interested in my digital product. Not a week goes by that I don't make significant sales inside of my business, right? Imagine earning no less than $2,000 to $3,000 every single week. And I'm averaging more on the side of $5,000 a week. Imagine building a business in the matter of 90 days that can do that for you. That's what learning these skills is really, really all about. This is exactly why out of all the digital products that I could sell, right? Someone commented on one of my videos and they said, out of the thousands of digital products that you could sell, like, why did you decide upon this product? I decided upon this product because this digital product helps me to help more people learn the digital skills to be able to sell anything they want to sell online, right? It gets them set up for online business success. It teaches them the business of online business. It helps them learn these skills. Right. So I've kind of naturally always had this business where people will look at what I'm doing and want to model what it is that I'm doing or have some kind of intrigue around what it is that I'm doing. And for the first time through this digital product, I'm able to put people on, right, to the knowledge and the skills. And now people are able to learn exactly what I know about building an online business the same way that I'm building it. All of these skills can be learned through the digital product that I offer. All of this knowledge can be acquired through the digital product that I offer. Heck, if you want to sell this same digital product as your own, right, to make the kind of money that I'm making, you can sell this digital product as your own, right? It's all within one simple digital product. That's why I've said we've simplified learning all of these skills, acquiring this knowledge, and even setting people up for online business success really, really quickly and giving them a digital product that they can begin selling instantly. Why? Because so many people out there need these skills. So yes, I could sell, ebooks and all of these individual things. And I do have a digital product store, right? I operate that separately from what I do here. But the fact of the matter is somebody could go over to my digital store. They could buy a boatload of digital products. But if they don't know how to create content, build an email list, and do all the things I talked about in this video, right, the likelihood is they're not going to succeed. So for me, putting the horse before the cart is making sure that I talk way more about the skills that need to be developed, right, so that people have it right. Because I've said this in so many of my videos, I read the comments of other people's videos, right? And even now in my own videos where people are saying, I have digital products, but I don't know how to market. I don't know how to promote. I don't know how to sell. I'm not making money. Way more people have questions over how to make money online and how to make money selling their digital products, right? Or they're on Etsy not making money, or they have these Shopify stores not making money, or they have these beacon stores or these stand stores not making money, right? I need more people, right, to know that you've got to develop these skills, because when you develop these skills, not only can you make money, in my instance, let's talk about me just for a second, right? I make the money that I make selling this digital marketing course with master resale rights as a digital product I didn't have to create, right? Thousands of dollars every single week, right? YouTube pays me, right now, $500, right, a month, right, to create content on YouTube, and that content goes on to make me thousands of dollars a week. That's a skill. I build my email list and I make money in my email list, right? Because why? It's a skill. I get to build relationships. I get to sell through my email list. Every aspect of my business is a digital marketing skill, right, that I've developed for myself. So we can have these products, right? We can latch onto trends. However, if we don't know how to market, promote, if we don't know how to be digital marketers, we're just not going to make the money. So out of everything that I could sell, I choose to sell this digital product because, number one, right, we make really great money per transaction, but I know that with every single digital product that I sell, that I am putting people on, right, to learning and knowing all that I know about making money online, right? And then as a bonus, if you dig my style and you would love to learn from me in a more intimate setting, you would love for me to be kind of like your big sis on this journey, I offer my mentorship included when you decide to invest in this digital marketing course with master resale rights as well. So you get to learn from my real experiences. You get to learn from me firsthand. You get to ask me questions, pick my brains. I have everything set up where you get to connect with me on a weekly basis and get the help, the guidance, and support, right, that you need to help you on this journey. So again, I am celebrating another milestone, and I look forward to coming back month after month after month, right, sharing my new milestones, but not just sharing them to brag, sharing them, right, accompanied with training so that you understand how I am actually making this possible. Why? Right? Comment down below, because more is caught than taught. Let me know something that you caught during this video. All right. Would love to know how you're leaving better. Would love to know how you're leaving more inspired and more empowered, and would love to know what you plan to do with this information, right, that you have consumed today. So it's your girl, Steph Perez. I will drop my link down below if you want to learn more about this digital marketing course with master resale rights. That's going to help you gain the knowledge, gain the skills, help you get set up for online business success quickly. Literally, I'm telling you, you can change the game for you in the next 90 days if you decide to get really, really serious about this, because that's exactly what I did for myself. All right, so you can click the link down below in the description, goprowithsteph.com. And again, if you want to lock in on mentorship for free, right, all you got to decide is invest in yourself, get the course. You'll have everything that you need to get set up for online business success and to make this an absolute year to remember. Make sure you subscribe and click on notifications if you want to stay in the know, if you want to stay connected, and if you want to watch new videos and be invited to live streams, you know, throughout the week to help you in mastering these skills, learning more about this industry, and, you know, just kind of getting in the flow of making money for yourself and making this real for yourself. I'm telling you, I believe in you. I believe that more good people need to know about this kind of information so they can start doing more good work for themselves. If you want to change your world, your life, your bank account, right, this year, I'm telling you, you can absolutely do it, and you could do it through, right, digital marketing entrepreneurship. I'm here to support you. I'll look forward to seeing you in my next video, and I hope that I see you inside of the community. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.